The Nintendo Wii U, a console that failed pretty bad back in the 2010s. Everyone knows about this console because it's the worst selling Nintendo console of all time, minus the Virtual Boy, of course. When the Switch came out in 2017, it definitely was a breath of fresh air for Nintendo, and they kind of got back on their feet with that console, because it's done very, very well since it came out. And a lot of games on the Wii U have now been ported to the Switch. Even the most recent Xenoblade Chronicles X is getting ported in March here, so it seems like we're losing more games from the console's library. Well, there are in fact a lot of games still stuck on the Wii U console that you can't play anywhere else. And this is going to be a 3-part series here, because there's a lot of games to go over. There's a little bit about over 30, so there is certain criteria though to make this list in my personal opinion. A, it's obviously got to be a game only on the Wii U. You can't play it anywhere else. It's still stuck here, not been ported or anything. An exception here, though, are Wii U games that have 3DS counterparts. I feel like the 3DS version is either a watered-down version of the Wii U game or a different version overall. So, home console-wise, some of these games do count because they still are stuck on the Wii U technically. I won't include any HD remasters or anything, so no Zeldas, no Wind Waker, no Twilight Princess. We all know those were on GameCube originally, even though the HD versions are only on the Wii U, but still, I don't think it's enough to count. I also won't count games that have Wii U functions that are different from other versions. Games like Batman Arkham City Armored Edition, or stuff like Deus Ex Director's Cut, or even Watch Dogs, they all use Wii U tablet kind of thing with their games, unlike their other versions, but again, they're on PS3 360, so it just doesn't count. Without further ado though, going over all that, let's dive in and I'll talk about the first 11 games on the console that are exclusive only to the Wii U. I usually kick off my list pretty strong, but unfortunately it is the opposite for this list. Animal Crossing Amiibo Fest, probably the worst Animal Crossing game ever made. This game is not even an Animal Crossing game in tradition. It's actually a board game, party game kind of deal here, and you can't even play this unless you have amiibos for the game. Essentially, it's just a board game, and you use your amiibos to get around, and it's all random and repetitive how it plays. And unfortunately, I actually couldn't even get footage of this game because I don't have the amiibos. So I'm just showing you some footage here of what it looks like. But this is definitely a game that definitely isn't even fun because A, it's not challenging, there's no real strategy to this, there's no depth, and it's just a cash grab Nintendo had. So definitely avoid this game, or if you don't even have amiibos, it's doing you a favor. You can't even play it anyway. Definitely not one of Nintendo's proudest moments. The next exclusive game is a very controversial game that people definitely know about, probably for its rarity. That is Devil's Third. Devil's Third is definitely only stuck on the Nintendo Wii U. It was published by Nintendo, made by Valhalla Games, they're guys from Koei Tecmo, and this game definitely flopped. And people think it's a very, very bad game and one of the worst of all time. Well, I've beaten this game before a few years ago. It is not the worst game of all time. Is it perfect? Hell no. Is it terrible? I don't think it is. I had a fun time playing this game when I actually did play it. You play as a guy named Ivan, you're this Russian dude in this prison. Well, the US government wants you to go on a mission to take down some evil dude. And yeah, it's a hack and slash third-person shooter with some first-person shooting. Definitely needs polishment, and you'll notice that if you ever get to play this game, if you even can. And it's just an alright game, I guess you would say. But there's some kind of weirdness to this game that I like. And the game is not great, but it's fun. And to me, as long as it hits that note, then I really don't care. Devil's Third is definitely one if you like third-person shooter, hack and slash games. Check it out if you are into that kind of stuff. I think it's definitely worth a look, but obviously don't go in expecting this major awesome game. It definitely bombed for a reason. But it lives and it dies on the Wii U as the most expensive game on the system. ESPN Sports Connection. It was brought to us by Ubisoft only for the Wii U back in 2012. It's pretty obvious that this game is a Wii Sports clone, and they definitely try to mimic what that game did. Unfortunately for this game, it does it way worse. and the controls are bad. They're not great at all, and there's a lot of freaking loading in this game too. They have some gameplay options too in this one, like football and such, and they try to do something with the touchpad, but it's just so lame what they do with it. You just flick stuff on the gamepad, and to be honest, I feel like they just kind of did the bare minimum with this game. Definitely a cash grab because it was one of the launch titles, I believe, for the Wii U, and they definitely did anything they could to get this game out, and no matter the state it was in. For the record too, in case you're not aware, all these games I do in fact own. I have nearly a complete Wii U collection, minus like a game or two right now. So all the gameplay footage you're seeing, except for the first game, Animal Crossing, is all physical media that I have that I've captured the footage from. Just wanted to address that. ESPN Sports Connection, definitely a terrible game. Avoid this at all costs.
Hit the net!
Funky Barn is a farm simulator game that came out in 2012 for the Wii U, and this is actually one of the examples where it was actually on the 3DS and then it came to the Wii U, but again, this is the only way to play it on home console. Funky Barn doesn't really have a whole lot going for it. It's got these still images when you start playing the game, and then when you get to the gameplay, it's definitely one of those, building kind of games where it takes real time, I guess a real-time strategy, but there really isn't a lot of strategy here. Just kind of build your own farm, then you let things happen, and you just keep on doing it that way. It's definitely got a mobile game vibe here going on. It's not bad. This is definitely aimed more for like young kids, it seems like, but nothing really just too crazy here going on with this game. Not a bad game, but definitely not one worth checking out. But if you like farm sim games, maybe give this one a look. If you thought ESPN Sports Connection looked like shit and played like shit, no. Game Party Champions takes it to the whole new level. This is probably the worst game on the Wii U, or at least one of them, and it's kind of like that one, but just plays crappy. I mean, look at this gameplay footage. Some of this stuff just looks terrible, and playing it also is not that great. This game has absolutely nothing going for it, and this is a ridiculous Wii Sports clone that should never have happened. But this game lives and dies only on the Wii U. And it sounds like I'm talking about a lot about bad games, but I promise you there are some decent games here on the 30 games here on the Wii U. But unfortunately, some of the crappier games are in the beginning of the alphabet, so avoid this one. Game & Wario is definitely a game that I remember seeing back in the day when it was first announced on the Nintendo Direct back in like 2013 or so, and I thought it looked interesting, but I wasn't really into the WarioWare series, so I passed on it. But this game heavily flopped. Game & Wario is a lot different than WarioWare. WarioWare is a bunch of micro games, where WarioWare has a lot more mini games. I say a lot more, but not really. There's only like maybe 12 or so in the entire game, and I think that's definitely where this game suffered in terms of sales. But how's the game play? The game is actually quite fun. They use a lot of the gamepad functions with this game in pretty much every minigame that you play. There's this like bow and arrow section with Wario, and then you've got other sections too, like this one with the taxi cab. Some of the gameplay footage I can't show you too because it's on the touchpad and I don't have a way to record that right now, but just know that there is a different screen here going on sometimes. This game's pretty cool. I actually do like this one. This is one of the more expensive games on the system though, because it didn't sell well, and of course it's stuck only on the Wii U. If you're a WarioWare fan, or just a minigame fan in general, definitely check this one out or pick this one up. This one's about maybe $80 or so, which is pushing it, but it is a very rare game, so if you do find a good deal, I'd pick it up. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse came out in 2015 only for the Wii U console, and it's a follow-up to Kirby Canvas Curse, which came out in 2005 on the DS. Ironically enough, it came out 10 years later. This game is pretty unique. It doesn't play like a normal Kirby game where you suck powers and fly around and such. Instead, you're going to really use the touchpad a lot in this game. and you use the stylus and you can make these little rainbow thread things, and Kirby can travel on them. You can also tap on Kirby and he can become like this boulder and can slam into other enemies. It's a pretty cool game and very charming. The graphics are pretty good for what it is, but the one thing I didn't like though is the fact that you kind of have to look at your touchpad the whole time as you're playing it. I mean, you can look on the TV screen if you want to, but you won't know exactly, you know, where you're clicking. I mean, unless you just have, you know, good hand-eye coordination or something like that, but maybe that's just me. This game is pretty cool though, and definitely, you know, not an expensive game or anything, and worth adding to your Wii U library if you want to collect for this failed system. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. If I dare say it's a cozy game, it's very fun. Check it out. Mario and Sonic at the 2014 Winter Olympic Games. This one's pretty much just like the others that came before it that were on the Wii, and I did not play this one when it first came out. This game is just copy and paste. It's the same ordeal as the other games, nothing really different. You got Mario characters and you got Sonic characters. It's still a fun game though. Definitely heavy and focused on mini games, which you got ice skating, skiing, snowboarding, and even hockey. Pretty cool. This is one I would recommend playing with some friends or other people that you know. That way, you know, it's more fun to play just in general that way, I think. Or you can just be a loser like me and play it single player if you want to. Nonetheless, this game's pretty cheap, like 15 bucks or so. Check this one out if you like Mario and Sonic. Another Olympic game happened on the Wii U, Mario and Sonic at the 2016 Rio Olympic Games, and this game is slightly improved but still more of the same really. In this one, every game it tells you how to play, well this time they tell you everything on one screen, not multiples like the last game, which is a lot better, but then you have like this hub here that you start in, not a big deal, just not necessary, but you get to the action a lot faster, and that's what I like about this one. The minigames are also pretty cool too, like soccer and such, and I think this one's really fun. This one is one of the more expensive games on the system. It's about like maybe $55, $60 right now. It's always kind of been on that high end, above 50. I guess just it didn't sell well or something like that. Nonetheless though, if you like the other Mario and Sonic games, you gotta check this one out. Mario Party doesn't really mean much to talk about here because everyone knows Mario Party, but Mario Party 10 was trapped on the Wii U. Apparently this is like one of the most hated games in the series. I did play this for a little bit, and yeah, it is a little different because normally you're around the board individually and that's how you play the game. Well, the board game and such is still here, but Bowser is heavily involved with this game. So you're all on this like cart thing, and you'll ride around on a track, of course roll dice, go to shops, do mini games, all that stuff. But Bowser can really punish you if you land on like the wrong tile or if he catches up with you. And I think this game can be kind of fun. Like this would obviously be more fun with like more than one person playing this, and definitely a unique way of playing Mario Party. I don't think it's bad, but do I like it more than the actual other games? No. The other games are definitely better. But Mario Party 10's not that expensive. It's like over 20 bucks or so. And if you're a big Mario Party fan, I would at least try this one just to see what you think. But yeah, the Bowser thing is kind of a weird gimmick, but still a fun game nonetheless. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. A lot like Mario Party 10, this game also is considered one of the worst of the series. I did play this for a little while, and yeah, it's just tennis, but with Mario power-ups, and you know, I kind of thought it was fun. Now, let me say this ahead though, I haven't played a lot of Mario Tennis in my life, so this is only one of my only experiences that I remember, at least. I think I played the N64 one a long time ago, but I didn't really see that many problems with this game. I'm sure that I just don't know, so leave a comment down below. Don't blast me or anything. I just don't know too well about this. This game definitely is kind of fun, though, and it's stuck on the Wii U, but, of course, the sequel to that, Mario Tennis Aces or whatever, came out shortly after this, probably a couple of years, so this game is long forgotten. Not a bad Mario game, though, and a cheap one, too. It's like maybe 10 to 15 bucks or so you can't complain with that. I'd say check this out personally, but I know there's people who don't like it. Nonetheless, it's Mario Tennis. Can't go wrong with this. And there you have it. Those are the first 11 games out of 31 total that are exclusive to the Wii U as of now. There's no telling what Nintendo will do with some of these games. They could port them, they may not. I doubt they will with some stuff like Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, and there's others that I will mention in the future. But either way, all these games are trapped on the Wii U, but thankfully they're not very expensive. The next two lists will include 10 games each to finish off the list, and they are the good, the bad, and the ugly, so we're going to have a mixture of all that stuff. As always, thanks again for watching, everyone. Y'all take it easy.